Okay, here's one last look at her. It's all wrapped up and packed up. One screw is missing. I can't find my screw. The butterfly, whatever you call them. We got it all in here. You can see our brand new idle control thing. She's all fixed up and running. Everything is back in here. There's not much else to do. Maybe she needs a wash, but that's about it. And one more thing I wanted to mention is with the fuel distributor. Now, yesterday I said is that it was too much pressure. It wasn't really too much pressure. The 6 bar and 6.4 bar is what you need to do to measure when you measure this. But the problem is the center gasket in here, and then a plunger has O-rings on it and this, that, and the other thing. They were a little bit too old, and I don't know if you can read this. This was rebuilt, and the way this thing looks like it, I would think that this was probably done in the 2000s when the engine had about 250,000 miles in it, and I think that was the second or third owner. They rebuilt the engine and they put everything else on there. So, and that's why these parts which are on there, like the starter, the alternator, those parts, I had issues with the power steering pump, which was out. They were replaced or, just put back on there as, rebuilt parts back in 2005, which is now 17 years ago. And this is what we're seeing here with this thing too. So this is now, I'm now on the third fuel distributor. Figure about 15 years of life, 10 to 15 years on these fuel distributors, and then they have to be rebuilt. They sell the rebuild kits for $75. I'm not really good at this stuff, so I let someone else do it, and this is going to go back to Florida to Eitan. He will rebuild this here for someone else, and that will work. I also took out the spark plugs because the gap was slightly too large. They overgapped it to 0.042, and they want 0.032. And that really surprised me. So when I saw this here, is that the Bosch plugs are now made in Russia. You have to realize this, when I left Germany in 1989, the wall hadn't come down yet. I was back there in 91 after it had come down for a few months. And I came back to America, but this was basically it. So I had no idea, and to find Bosch plugs today made in Russia from that in 30 years is quite a stretch. Well, I'm happy. I took also a couple other parts out they had put in there. This is a common thing, is they added actually, they short wired or wired in the electric fan from the air conditioning system because I guess the car was getting too hot. They had water in there, and then the other thing is they didn't know how to bleed the system properly. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to be one of the next things, is I have the lemon acid here from Mercedes-Benz, and I will give this car a complete flush, and then we can get this all taken care of here. I got the other thing is what was not working anymore was the clutch. The clutch was hot, and it was from a different model, and they had cut in there. I threw this out already. You don't want to see it. And for whatever reason, the actuator was missing for the cruise control. So that part was out. So I got a new one, or used one on eBay, and you could see the way I got it now working. It is working fine. That is just that is basically the conclusion of it. What I got left here is now cosmetic stuff. The brake pads have to be replaced at one point. We probably want to change the brake fluid. All of the stuff is good at this point. You can see it. There's nothing there. I got already new rotors, but the rotors are probably good for another 10 or 20,000 miles. I just got them now because my guy had them on sale, and they came from O'Reilly's, and they're good. And the brake pads, I'm going to change them, and I'm probably going to upgrade a couple things. We're going to change the flex discs on there, and then we're going to be good with the whole thing. It's going to be all right. And otherwise, we got us working a wing nut. That's what they call it. Sometimes I can't remember these words. I'm missing my wing nut. That was already missing. So we got us a complete car here. Have a great afternoon.